Hey, welcome! Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my very first numero uno journal video on YouTube. It's going to be something like a journal journey. Journal journey. Say that 3 times fast. The new year is approaching. Yeah, 2016. And I know some of you might be either new to journaling and thinking about starting, or maybe switching over to a new system for the new year. So perhaps this video will help you as we look at where I started, where I am now, and where I'm going to in the new year. I know there are a billion journal YouTube videos out there. I'm pretty sure that I've watched probably almost all of them, but maybe I have a different take on something that will help somebody out there, and you'll get some, fresh ideas. Journaling has always been something very important for me, whether it's been through a diary or scrapbooking or photography. I've been a journaler. My kids flew the coop about 3 years ago, and my husband and I became empty nesters. And I retired my photography business, and I knew it was time for me to get back to capturing my everyday memories somehow. After all, that's really what makes up your life, yeah? And I started with the whole art journaling idea, but the collaging and the painting and the mixed media, while really great, it still wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted that pen to paper, words about where I went, what we did, what friends did I meet that day. Those were the important things for me for journaling. So in 2014, I decided I was going to start officially the traditional writing down kind of journaling. And I really set the bar ridiculously low for myself. Splurged on this tiny little Mead at a glance journal. I thought one sentence, or even just a fragment of a sentence, and I would be good. Just to get something down on paper every day. And I did. I started out a little slow, but as January turned into February, I found that I was writing a little, more and more, and I was diligent about it. I kept up with it, and I enjoyed it. It was important to me. And seriously, look at this. It's so sad. Really? Don't judge me. I didn't know. I mean, back then, I don't even think I knew what washi tape was. I do now. Oh boy, I do now. So I thought, well, I really like this, but there's really not too much to it, and maybe I could build on this and do something better than just these little sentence fragments on a sorry white page with ballpoint pen. And I stumbled upon Robin Marie Smith's website. She's a mixed media artist who I followed, still do follow, and discovered that she and several of her friends had a project going for 2014 called the Documented Life Project. And they were using a Moleskine weekly notebook. Okay, wait a minute. Yes, I know it's Moleskine, but I can't say that. It's like way too much fancy pants for me. So it's Moleskine. However, by the end of April, I could not find that notebook anywhere. It was sold out everywhere, and I think if you wanted to buy it on eBay, it was like $1 bajillion. So I had another Moleskine in my stash, which I was using as a really sad travel journal. Look how sad this is. Pencil and nothing else. Again, it was pathetic. And I was missing days when we would travel and I wouldn't write anything, and it really wasn't happening for me. So I took this Moleskine, which is a classic plain, and turned it into my documented life project journal and loved it. The format then in 2014 was a week on 2 pages, lots of different prompts by the week, journaling, art. I found a place for my photographs. I learned what a tip-in was. It just was an eye-opening and completely an enjoyable experience. I journaled every single day. So probably around October, I thought I am not going to get left behind for 2015. I went ahead and ordered the Moleskine Weekly Notebook so that I could have it, get it prepped, get it ready, and guess what? They changed the format. They did not call me and ask my opinion. What? They went into a 9x12 Dilutions journal. Heavy on a larger art project on one side, and then your daily journaling on the other side. And I knew that format was just not going to work for me. It was too big and too art-centric and not enough about daily life. So I finished out the year in this Moleskine, got my new weekly Moleskine all put together, got my tip-ins in, got it all prettied up, ready to go to journal for 2015, and realized at the new year, I don't like this paper. Now, to be totally fair, that's not what this journal is meant for. This journal is meant for, writing down appointments and meetings. It's not meant to be painted on and have stickers put on and rub-ons and tip-ins. And I mean, look at the poor spine. It's about ready to, just roll over and give up. But I decided I wanted to make a go of it, yet at the same time wanted to look for something different out there, that perhaps there was something I could maybe move into. And it was probably around the end of February that I discovered the Reset Girls Midori 101 video, which I think everybody in the universe has seen that video by now. And it led me to the Midori Fodori journaling system. And I decided that I would get, after watching her video and doing a little bit of research, I decided to go with a Foxy Dory and from Etsy. And by the way, I will put a link to all of these journals and videos, materials, supplies, whatever. Links will be in the description box below. This arrived. It's lovely. I love everything about the Midori, the Fodori system. The paper in the Midori inserts is fabulous paper. This is the Wonderlust in the wide regular. The leather is just fabulous. So I thought, well, maybe I'll use this for a travel notebook, since I hadn't replaced my really sad old one from 2014. And it works. It lives up to his name. It lives up to its name. Yes, English is my first language. Lives up to its name. It has traveled everywhere with me. Europe, across the country, wherever my husband and I go, and it's been a wonderful travel journal. Absolutely love it. Now, you know what happens when you discover one system. You watch one video, which leads to another video, which leads to another video. And as I'm looking at the Midori Fodori system, I happen upon the Hobonichi system. That was probably through My Life Mitts in her series. She's another great journal YouTuber out there. I thought, well, I'll give that a try. Why not? Let's check out that system. And I have to say, I like this system, but the idea of just one day on one page, that I don't know. That just somehow did not appeal to me. But I will say, this paper is to die for. It's absolutely, yeah, it's swoon worthy. And something, oh look, I heart this paper. Something happens to this paper when it mixes with watercolor. It's just divine. But yet again, I knew that this would not be my daily journal. So I turned it into a very expensive daily to-do list. Every morning, my coffee, my Hobonichi, we plan out our day. I am very much a squirrel girl. If it doesn't get on my to-do list, it goes right out of my head. So love this, but again, not what I was looking for a day-to-day kind of journal. Then I decided, well, the next big thing that came around, hit, all of YouTube, was a planner. So maybe my travel journal, my to-do list, and my daily journaling weren't enough. Maybe I needed to have a planner. I wasn't so sure about that, which I'm glad in hindsight that I didn't hugely jump on that bandwagon. I wound up going with Personal Planner, and lovely planner, great company. You can completely, from the ground up, build this planner and make it yours, including profanity on the cover. The paper is great, the layout I love, but I'm just not a planner girl. My kids are out of the house and my husband keeps his own calendar, and really I don't have that much to fill it with. So I'm decorating this, I'm decorating my daily planner, and I lasted all of 8 weeks. Yeah. So look, sad, it's all empty, and it's going to stay empty because I'm not a planner girl. So don't hate. I've got 4 books, and I realize something has got to give. So all of a sudden my camera is blinking at me. I think my memory card is getting filled. Let me dump out on that one, and then I will catch you back, and we'll kind of go into how I'm easing into my new system. Hang tight. So good heavens, am I a gas bag or what? Get on with it, girl. I'm gonna be like the #1 video on the Cure for Insomnia channel. Where I left off, I'm like in all of these books, okay? And I'm starting to get overwhelmed. And ironically, this was just about the time when One Book July came around, and Courtney on the Little Ink had a little heart-to-heart with her viewers about the overwhelming desire that we have to have stuff, to have more stuff, to have all these journals. And when we do, we paralyze ourselves because we're overwhelmed with stuff. And then we wind up not journaling because we can't figure out what watercolor to use, or which journal to start in, or which black pen we're supposed to use. And that really resonated with me. And she moved everything into her Midori style journal, and it was a system that I thought, really could work for me. That accompanying her little talk, along with a trip that my husband and I took to Colorado to visit our son, who is stationed out there in Colorado Springs, I realized, okay, a week on 2 pages is not working for me. This was our week. I mean, good heavens. I love tip-ins as much as the next journaler, but this is crazy. It's too much to try to get. There was so much that we did and we saw, and photographs and things from my heart that had to get out onto paper, and I totally realized that I needed to change for sure for the new year. I wasn't ready to abandon this journal, right? We sort of have this emotional attachment. At least I do. Am I the only one that's goofy like that? I don't want to abandon her. She's gonna stick through the year with me, and I'm committed to that. But I knew something had to give. So there were 2 things that were really important to me, I decided, as I was contemplating where I was going to go next on this wonderful journey. Size. I wanted to stay in a larger size. As much as I like the traditional Midori size, it's a little cramped. I like the wider format. And the second important thing for me was paper. I had to have good paper. I was not about to go through forcing a journal into something that it wasn't. So I did some research, and what did I come up with? Did I hear you asking that? Well, let me show you what I came up with. A5 is my size for 2006. And there are not many journal cover makers out there that make a journal that's large enough to accommodate several larger A5 sizes. So really looking through Etsy, I wanted to support an Etsy seller. I found this gentleman who I think is out of Colorado or maybe California, but his Etsy name is Buteo. I hope I'm saying that right. Buteo Bunker. I saw his covers. I loved the look, and I saw that he offered a large A5 size. And when I sent him a message asking for the dimensions, he was very quick in responding. And I realized that the size that he was making was probably going to work for me and holding the notebooks that I found that I wanted to use in 2006. Now, I just got this cover yesterday, which is a Tuesday. I ordered it the previous Monday, so a week shipping, which I think is pretty good for a custom-made cover. And it's lovely. If you would like to see a video, a more specific video about this particular journal cover, I would be happy to do that. I think it deserves its own video. It's very well made and absolutely fabulous. What's inside? Well, this is what I'm going to. I mentioned that it's A5 and that I had to have fabulous paper. I found that Midori makes an A5 size notebook, the Midori MD notebook, which I found on Amazon. It's about 125 pages. I got it in grid paper, which is perfect for me. I don't like necessarily the confinement of a lined paper. I can make my writing as small or as large as I want with the grid, but yet it still gives me some sort of sense of placement, which I totally need. The paper itself is a workhorse. It's just like traditional insert paper, a little bit thinner, but it takes everything that I need it to take. Distress stain, my Kuretake watercolor, aqua brushes, fountain pens, friction pens, everything beautifully. The only thing it doesn't play well with is are dye inks, and I don't use a ton of dye ink when I stamp anyway. I mostly use chalk ink, so that it takes very well. Shadowing is minimal. There is a little bit of shadowing, but that does not bother me. That is totally not a deal breaker for me. So I've set this up to be my main notebook. I've charted out the 12 months of the year, and they are in the front so that I can quickly look and see what I've got on my calendar, which is never that full. The next section of the notebook will be my to-do lists, daily to-do lists, so that I can still sit with my coffee and get my brain in order for the day. And I've scheduled out 52 weeks for that. And you know what? I started decorating already because I can't help it. I'm absolutely loving this. I know we should be present and live in the moment, but I cannot wait to get into this journal. And once the to-do lists are done, that's where I will start my journaling. Then once the journaling in this Midori MD notebook is done, I will be moving into this notebook, which is by Apica, A-P-I-C-A, from Goulet Pens. I found this, and it's a little bit shorter or smaller in terms of number of pages, but the paper, if you made me choose, I think I would choose this paper over the Midori paper. It is smooth like glass. No tooth to this whatsoever, and it handles everything like I need it to. Distress stain, aqua markers, watercolor, no warping, no wrinkling, all the pens that I use, and there's even less shadowing, if any, compared to the Midori. So that's where I'm starting for 2006. If you would, 2006, hello, I'm 10 years behind, yoy, 2016. If you would like to see a more in-depth, detailed description of this setup, I would be happy to provide that to you, including, which I didn't really get into because I have droned on long enough in this video, I did find a notebook that is full of the Tomoe River paper. That is what is in the Hobonichi. And it's lovely for watercolor. But again, I can go into that in depth in a more detailed video about this setup if you would like to see that as well. So if you have stuck through this entire video, you go. Yay, you gold star. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to check this out. I hope it's been helpful. I hope I've answered some questions. As I said, I will link to all the videos, YouTube channels, products, supplies that I've talked about in this video. Please feel free to leave me any questions. I will certainly answer them to the best of my ability, and any comments would be greatly appreciated. And if you're really daring, thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Thank you very much again for stopping by. I have some ideas for future videos. If I get a good response, I definitely will continue to do this. Thanks again so much, and I will see you next time around. Peace. I'm out.